10th, 2022 meeting of the Traffic and Parking Advisory Board meeting to order. Good afternoon and welcome. This board reviews items of interest regarding parking and traffic items. We are an advisory board, and our favorable recommendation today will go before the Oshkosh Common Council. The council can either accept or reject any recommendation from this board. If you don't agree with our decision, you can discuss that item with any council member. If the board does not recommend an item, a common council member may in fact sponsor a new ordinance regarding that same item. All items do require 2 readings before the Common Council. The first reading will take place on Tuesday, May 24th at 6 p.m., and you will be allowed to comment on the item at that time, though the council, in fact, will take no action. On Tuesday, June 14th at 6 p.m., the item will be on a second reading, at which time the council will take action. You will again be allowed to speak on the item at that time. For this afternoon's meeting, I will read each agenda item, at which time, if you'd like to speak, please step to the podium and give both your name and address for the record. I do ask that you keep your comments pertinent to the agenda item. The item will then come back to the board for discussion and action. First item on the agenda is public comment, and seeing none, I'm going to dispense with that and move right to roll call and Pledge of Allegiance. We'll start with the calling of the roll.
Staple?
Aye.
Wanschneider? Wanschneider?
Oh, he's here.
Okay. Christensen?
Here.
Hanson? Here. Becker?
Here, I would ask that all stand and pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The first business item on today's agenda is approval of prior minutes.
So moved. Second.
Anyone with any comments, questions, additions, or deletions to the minutes from last meeting? Seeing none, I'm going to ask that the roll be called on approval of minutes.
Staple?
Aye.
Wanschneider?
Aye.
Christensen?
Aye.
Hanson? Aye. Becker?
Aye. Which then brings us to old business. Mr. Collins?
The only thing we had was to follow from the previous council meeting, and that was the no parking over there on 6th, which was approved at the last council meeting.
All right. Thank you. Which then brings us to new business, a request to update the bus loading and parking regulations adjacent to Oshkosh West High School on North Eagle Street and Southland Ave.
All right, so this, we have representative from the school district as well as their architectural firm that this request is to, they currently load and unload all of the buses here on Eagle Street. So right now we have basically a loading zone this whole stretch of North Eagle Street. And what they would like to do is, since this is one of their main entrances here, and parents and others need to come get in and out of that building for quick access throughout the day, drop off missing items, etc. So they would like this area to be short-term parking for those that need to get in and out in a quick period of time, and they would like to split the bus loading zone. They have about 8 buses, so load and unload 4 of them here, and then move 4 of them to Southland over here. So that's the gist of the request, is to allow some short-term parking here on North Eagle and create a loading zone here. As far as the evaluation, the North Eagle Street's 44 feet wide, Southland's 48. Really, the school dominates the usages on both streets, so they're wide enough to accommodate those changes. And then we have the public bus stop right here, so that'll remain unchanged, and this gives us enough clearance for that as well. I think that's the gist of it. I don't know if you guys had anything you wanted to add, or
I need a second before we...
Second.
My question, Mr. Collins, is do we need to read into the record the specifics of the issue? Because obviously there's distances from corners and whatnot.
yeah, I don't know that we need to necessarily.
Okay.
I think it's It's
That's
on-
fair.
It's on the paper, so.
My question, though, related to that is 30-minute parking in front of the building, up till what time, if any?
Yep. So basically it would be 7 to 4:30 on school days.
So the church and the mosque over there could use the parking then on on weekends. Friday probably doesn't help much, but for Sunday?
Right.
Okay.
Yep. Yep, it would just be, and that matches what most of the regulations are in that area. There's a little variance based on the ordinances were passed, but most of the no parking ordinances in that whole city block there are basically during school hours, so 7 to 4:30.
And
So
the,
yeah, that's a good clarification.
the other question I had was, and I think I know the answer, but I want to make sure it's public, effective August 1st, give or take? I mean, we're not
Yep.
doing this next week.
Right.
Well,
so
after council
we
takes
were
action,
thinking
obviously, but-
effective for the beginning of next school year, so we were thinking August 1st. That would give enough time to get the ordinances passed and then change the signs. I think that's what we were.
And can I safely assume the school district's going to deal with parent education on this front?
Yes.
All right, that's all I have unless another board member has a question. All right, seeing no more questions or comments, I'm going to ask that the roll be called on new business 1.
Gable,
Aye.
Schneider,
Aye.
Christensen,
Aye.
Hanson,
Aye.
Becker.
Aye. Which then brings us to staff statements. Mr. Collins.
All right. I just have a couple brief things. One is the Wisconsin Street. You asked about at the last board meeting. That is scheduled for reconstruction next year. So they'll be working on the design and getting that bid out yet, probably the end of this year if they follow that. So that's good news. I know that's it. Wisconsin's in rough shape.
The north.
Yeah.
You mean Washboard Street?
What's that?
I said Washboard Street?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
So that's good news. Then we do have a new board member pending council approval tonight that'll join us then for the next meeting. So that'll be good. So that'll fill this board. But then still have openings on a lot of other boards. So if anybody's interested, there's plenty of opportunity out there.
Which then brings us to future agenda requests from other board members or board members in general. Seems like there are none, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll on adjournment.
Gable,
Aye.
Schneider,
Aye.
Christensen,
Aye.
Hanson,
Aye.
Becker.
Aye. We are adjourned.
All right, thank you.
That almost asked another question.